Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Buff Breakdown. So yeah, this just dropped. We got a new Jalter banner, and with it we got two new buffs actually. And I guess unsurprisingly, they're for the two OG 5-star Johns. We got a buff for John Ruler and also John Alter Avenger, of course. Now, I don't really have proper pictures here because for some reason they either forgot to upload them to the news website or whatever. So, here's the picture from the banner, but it's not like you need to see the previews anyway because, we're just going to jump into covering up the buffs anyway. So, let's talk Jalter first because this, in my opinion, is still a less significant buff. So, also, I didn't mention, but both of them are skill buffs, by the way. Now, Jalter's buffs landed on the 3rd skill. So, before the buff, what did it do? On a 6-turn cooldown, she gets 50% bust drop, 1 turn of invul, and then does 1k damage to self. Very, mediocre skill. It's like a mana burst with 1 more turn cooldown for the invul, and then also the HP demerit. So, for this day and age, this is not a great skill. Definitely nothing great or, something to write home about, but let's see what they did. Now, a lot of people might call this a boring buff because, I'll be the first to admit as far as I know, they didn't change anything on it besides the adding 1 new effect. So everything that existed in it stays the same. But now, hey, she gets a 50% battery for self. Yeah, there you go. So now it kind of makes sense because, 50% batteries tend to be on these 6-turn cooldown skills. And because this skill was so, bare bones as is, they could easily slap a 50% battery on it and still, have it be balanced, I suppose. It's still going to be a little bit awkward to use it sometimes because it is her main defensive, skill with the 1-turn invul, and Buster obviously doesn't always have the most reliable defensive tools via supports, but, a buff is a buff, and yeah, her MP post-buff is actually not that bad. It even hits fairly hard. So being able to use it now way more often is pretty cool. And obviously you can also, benefit way more from this skill if you bring in like 2 Koyans as well for the cooldown reductions. So there might even be some crazy worlds where, people with jacked up Jalters could even do some farming multi-core stuffs. Because remember, even her first skill, or second skill rather, which I don't think is a great skill either, by the way. But, if you have Dragon Ally DPS, they could get 40% attack from this anyway. So there is a bit of multi-core potential there too. But, yeah, it's mostly about herself here and her boss potential, if anything. Farming could be like a side little thing sometimes, but I probably won't really see it being all that useful. Although, who knows? Maybe people will prove me wrong, but... yeah, there you go. Pretty interesting. Also, good timing with both of these buffs because they happened before I'm tackling the extra class tier list this year, so yay. Again, kind of a boring buff, but it makes sense. This skill was bad, so hey, there you go. Cool buff. Now let's talk about Jeanne's buff. This buff I'm way more excited for. It's also funny because when they did the animation updates and I did my reaction and I mentioned, yeah, the skills look nice now, but can we please fix them next? And fix they did, at least for the first skill, so... that's what they buffed. So previously on a 6-turn cooldown, you got 9 stars per turn for 3 turns. That's it. Terrible. Absolute dog water. Just no excuse for this skill to be a necessary skill in this day and age. Even bad for low stars. But man, did they redeem this skill. So now on a 6-turn cooldown, they upped the stars per turn to 15 stars per turn for 3 turns. Awesome. And then 2 brand new effects were added. So full party-wide 20% arts up for 3 turns, and then also a full party-wide 20% battery gauge. Yes, yes, yes. This is great. Now we're actually cooking with gas, dudes. So yeah, finally a beautiful modern skill for Jeanne, and this will make her supporting way better too, because let's be real, as much as I think Jeanne is a fine servant, she just kind of fell off, and because she's way too defensive. She doesn't really bring anything else to the table, and obviously being only defensive as an arts kind of support slash tank slash utility character is not that enticing anymore. Now that Castoria obviously exists, so she kind of made her Jeanne retire early on, but I don't know, we could maybe seeing some kind of a comeback happening here with this skill buff. Now, obviously, this won't suddenly make her like a big farm support or anything like that, so don't really get your hopes up. This is still definitely mostly against bosses, because, you know, even Shufu still, as far as I know, offers way more to the party in terms of an art support, at least for farming wise. So, again, don't get your hopes up too much, but man, this is now a very, very lovely and awesome skill on bosses. So, unlike the Jalter one, it's so easy to use because there's nothing awkward about it. You will probably basically always pop this on cooldown anyway, and you're going to be loving life because everyone's going to be enjoying like all these nice effects that help the full party. It's just is great. I love this buff. This buff, freaking awesome, dude. I love it. So there you go, a fast little buff breakdown for you. I was actually about to upload another video, but then this buff dropped, so this takes priority, I guess. But don't worry, you will see the other upload later today, and I promise you, it will be a funny video. But yeah, enjoy. Jalter fans, Jeanne fans, you guys are eating good. With first the animation updates, and then we get these skill buffs as well. So, wow, they're finally doing them justice, I suppose, all these years later. So if you enjoyed this episode of Buff Breakdown, do me a solid and press the thumbs up button on this video. It really helps out. Only takes 2 seconds. Would be great. Also, subscribe not to miss out on future videos, including the funny upload I mentioned earlier coming your way later today. And if you're summoning for Jalter, I wish you best of luck, and otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.